Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another book haul. I didn't anticipate this one being as big as it is, but there's a really big used book sale that happens every year in my county, and this was the final one, apparently. I guess they're not doing it again. So I went, and it was a blur. I don't know what happened, but I got 14 books. So I'm here to tell you about them. Okay, before I get to the actual book sale books, the books that I actually ordered myself was solely based completely on a recommendation from you guys, which I listened to and then immediately purchased physical copies of, and that is the Mercy series by Deborah Anastasia. A lot of you guys told me to read this on my darker romance. No, on a recent reads romance. I don't know. On a recent video, a lot of you guys told me to read this series, and I'm here to say thank you because this is now one of my favorite books in recent time. Big fan of Mercy. Havoc was not as good as I wanted it to be, and then Locke also just kind of came out of left field and I loved it. But Mercy, oh my god, I love him so much. It's one of my new favorite book boyfriends, just saying. So I did purchase these in anticipation of a Polycon, but also just because I had to have physical copies of these, specifically book one. That's all. Okay, let's get to the book sale books because I've got no rhyme or reason to any of these books. There's no order. These were just as they were piled into my bag. I'm going to take them back out of the bag. So, book one is going to be a shock to you guys, but it was an impulse purchase. Okay, I went on day one, which is the most expensive day, aka hardcovers are $2, paperbacks are $1. I know. That was the most expensive day. I think today is Sunday as I'm filming it, and it is the final day of the book sale, and I think it's like a $5 fill-a-box day. The last time that I went, it was like $5 for 3 feet of books. I love used book sales. I love the people that go to used book sales because I feel like there's like an army of little old innocent looking women who come in with wagons and shopping carts, and they are throwing bows at the Daniel Steele and Nora Roberts section, and they've got like their checklists. It's intense, and I love going to this book sale, so I'm gonna very much miss it. Okay, anyway, get back to the books. Got this book. This is The Beast of Beswick by Amelie Howard. I don't read historical romance, but I vaguely remember seeing a lot of people talking about this. I want to say that I've seen Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life talking about this, probably Jess from Peace Love Books, probably Lacey from Lacey Books. I don't know. I feel like I've seen this book on recommended videos. I know nothing about it, and I don't read historical romance, but it was $1, so it went in the bag. Okay, I got a lot of mass markets. I got a copy of Lover Awakened, which is the 3rd Black Dagger Brotherhood book. I've read the first 2. Figured it would be a good time to pick up the 3rd one. Also, it's very shiny. Right, this is the 3rd one? I mean, most of the series was honestly there. Yeah, Dark Lover, Lover Eternal, Lover Awakened. Okay, so yeah, this is the 3rd book, which is the next one I need to read. I probably could have completed the entire series at this sale just because J.R. Ward is plentiful at used book sales, but I only got the 3rd one. I didn't go too crazy. I picked up 2 Mystic Creek novels by Katherine Anderson, Spring Forward and Huckleberry Lake. I have a couple of her fall books. Katherine Anderson just embodies seasons for me, and I'm very much like a seasonal vibe type of person. So like when I'm in a season, I want to feel like I'm in the season. And Katherine Anderson writes really cute, wholesome little small town romances that just embody seasons. She writes a lot of like kind of beachy, summery ones. It's rare that you see like spring season represented, but she also writes a lot of good like Christmas, wintry ones and fall ones. I have a couple of her fall ones somewhere. So I just kind of pick up her books whenever I see them just because they get you in the mood for the season. Norman's barking in the hallway. Can you hear him? A cat jumped off of the couch, so he needed to alert me and you guys. You're welcome. Okay, I actually found a book that I was legitimately looking for, and that is The Dante Club by Matthew Pearl. This is on a ton of dark academia recommendation lists, which I'm always on the search for. So I honestly always look for this book whenever I happen to go into like used bookstores or anything like that, because that's when I pick them up. This is set in Boston in 1865, and a series of murders are all inspired by the scenes of Dante's Inferno, and it follows an elite group of America's first Dante scholars to see if they can solve the mystery. So I've always wanted to read this. It always shows up on lists when I'm looking for dark academia recommendations, so I was really excited to actually find this for really, really cheap. I also picked up a copy of The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin, partially because this is actually a signed copy, and I was like, oh, freaking cool. I've never read this. I am probably the last person on earth to have not read this, but I'm very excited to have a copy so that I can finally join the fun club of having read this book. And also, it's signed, and it was $1. I ran over to they called it the paranormal section. There was no science fiction or fantasy areas. Everything was just mixed into fiction, which made it very complicated to find stuff. But they had a random like paranormal section, which was kind of the SSF shelf. And I grabbed a couple spontaneous things that are likely going to go to a friend of mine. I picked up Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. I think this is the sequel to The Lies of Locke Lamora. I might be wrong about that. I know it's the author of that. But this is the Gentleman Bastard series, correct? The Republic of Thieves is also in it, apparently. What order am I supposed to read these in? I haven't read the first one, can you tell? Lies of Locke Lamora, Red Seas Under Red Skies, and The Republic of Thieves. So there you go. This is technically book 2. I have book 1. It's been sitting on my shelf for years. Will I ever get to it? I don't know. But now I have a second one to join it on my shelf. It has company now. All right, we'll just scooch the camera a little as we start the next shelf. I also picked up some Mark Lawrence. I have Prince of Fools, which is the Red Queen's War, book 1. It was the first of a series. This is an author that I've wanted to get to at some point in time. So I also picked up Prince of Thorns and King of Thorns. He really likes his titles to have figures of royalty, male figures of royalty of something. So we've got like Prince of Fools and Prince of Thorns, and then he turns into the King of Thorns. I don't know. There was a lot of series in this wholesale, but it was very hard to find books 1 of a lot of series. So I found these. I found book 1 and then book 1 and 2 of, what series is this one? Broken Empire series. So there you go. We got these. These will likely end up going to a friend of mine before I ever get to them, but I mean, they were $1, so why not? I picked up some animal books, as I do throughout my entire life. I picked up Homer's Odyssey by Gwen Cooper. I've seen this book around for years and I've always wanted to get to it, so this is my excuse to get to it. It follows a fearless feline tale, or how I learned about love and life with a blind wonder cat. I think it follows a vet. No, it follows a woman and her vet called with a story of a 3-week-old eyeless kitten who had been abandoned. So it's about a woman who takes in an eyeless blind cat. And as somebody who works in animal rescue, this is probably going to be a story that I can strongly relate to. So I just want to get to it. I'm a cat lady. I have fully embraced this lifestyle, so I'm just going with it. While we're on the subject of blind animals, I picked up Joey, never heard of this, by Jennifer Marshall Bleakley, How a Blind Rescue Horse Helped Others Learn to See. I'm a sucker for horse girl books. I always have been, probably always will be. Will always be a horse girl. It follows a woman who is running Hope Reigns, a fledgling horse ranch in dire financial trouble, and she met Joey, who is a former prize-winning jumper who had been abandoned, neglected, and malnourished to the point of blindness. So she took him in, and it just sounds like every single horse girl movie that you've ever seen. The horse gets a second chance, the farm gets a second chance, everybody's happy, everybody wins. I hope so. If the horse dies at the end, I'm gonna be real sad, but I mean, thus is the circle of life. I understand it, but apparently I was on a blind animal kick at this book sale. I also picked up a copy of Think Like a Cat, How to Raise a Well-Adjusted Cat, Not a Sourpuss, by Pam Johnson Bennett, a certified animal behavior consultant. So this is basically what it seems like. I believe this is nonfiction about living with a cat. Ooh, there's a bookmark in it. From Elm Street Books in Connecticut. Oh, it's dog-eared. I'm excited. I love buying, like, pet books and training books with dog-eared pages, because to me that means that person needed help with something, so they dog-eared what your kitten needs for interactive play. What else did they dog-ear? What is this one? What different parts of them mean, like the whiskers, the nails, the mouth. Interesting. Oh, I'm gonna have a good time reading through this. I love getting nonfiction pre-owned books for things like that. I always like to think about what the people were researching when reading it. So I'm very excited to get to this because, you know, again, self-proclaimed cat lady. And then a random last grab that I made, well, all of these were impulse grabs, is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Hermes Gowar. Hermes, am I fancy? This, I remember seeing this when this came out and it was like a big bestseller. I think it's historical fiction. I don't know. Yeah, it's 1785. It follows Jonah Hancock when he receives urgent knocking on his front door. One of his captains sold his ship for what appears to be a mermaid. Interesting. So it follows like the gossip around town, and he's in like high society, so this is like a big to-do. Didn't really know much about it. Kind of excited to read this now. But this book is also just stunning. Like, it's got like these cool like gold foil little rhinestoney things. The spine is cool. The inside, it's just a cool, attractive book, and it was $1. And I know for a fact that this was a very expensive book when it first published, so I stole it for $1. That's not what theft is. I paid for it with $1. So that is going to conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it living vicariously through my random used book sale purchases. That was very unplanned, but I have zero regrets, and I will see you guys in my next video.